Listening to Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
The only place you need to go for West Georgia sports.
Interviews with all your favorite UWG athletes and so much more.
Keeping you up to date with the NFL, NBA, MLB, and everything in between. If you want it, we got it.
I mean, plain and simple, the worst decision Kalen DeBoer has ever made is taking the head coaching position at Alabama.
I wholeheartedly believe that behind Sean Payton and a second-year Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs and be the AFC West champions.
We're also giving you a platform to have your voice heard with our all-new live call-in segment.
So where else would you want to go? We've got all you need and more right here on Sports Pack. What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Monday edition of Sports Pack. I am your host, Richard Reed, joined by my guy, Keyshawn Ward, Jackson Schrader,
It's good.
and Ryan Kroger behind the board.
Yo.
We have a jam-packed episode, as always, because it's always a whole lot to talk about in the world of sports. But before we get started here, how you guys doing on this beautiful Monday?
You know, I had no class today, so, my day's been great. This first thing, I'm really just now getting out of the bed. I've been asleep all day, so.
Dang, you getting out of
Yeah.
bed for first thing at
Dang,
6
bro.
p.m.?
Yeah, bro, it's been rough.
You had a busy Valentine's Day weekend?
Nah, bro.
I thought you were drained from that.
Nah, bro. I wish, though. I wish.
Dude, this weather got me feeling whimsical, dude. I'm ready to get out there, bro. I'm ready for this, dude.
I'm feeling inspired today.
I mean, you should be. You just got a new phone and made sure to flex on us when you first got here, too. So, I mean, you ought to feel inspired. He made the point to say when we first sat down, I just got the new iPhone 17.
Mind you, no one asked me.
Nobody asked. Like, he
I just
didn't.
thought you guys would want to know.
You know what? And I'm glad you're comfortable enough to let us know when something good happens in your life, Ryan. That's the kind of culture that we're building here at Wolf Sports Network through Sports Pack and our other shows. Just a welcome environment for people like Ryan to flex on whoever, whenever he feels like.
People like Ryan. It's crazy.
Now, like I said, before we get into it, I do need to first and foremost pay the bills. And I just have to ask you a question first, though. Have you ever wanted to support your favorite radio station while eating Waffle House hash browns?
Every single time.
Yummy.
Well, Wolf Sports Network is hosting a Spirit Night on February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. at the Maple Street Waffle House. That is the Maple Street Waffle House on February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. Join us before or after the UWG softball game against Jacksonville State for an all-star so we can all be all-stars together. That's Wolf Sports Network Spirit Night from 2 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, February 24th at the Waffle House on Maple Street.
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
It was a very, very busy weekend in the world of UWG athletics. But with our baseball team having their first home series, our softball team going on the road for their first series, and both our men's and women's basketball teams going on the road to play in big-time conference matchups as well. But here on Sports Pack, we love all our sports teams. But we like to talk about the winners first. Because our women's basketball team has been on fire. They're currently 16-9 overall, 9-5 in ASUN conference play, and they are in a 3-team tie for the third seed in the ASUN conference tournament as we stand right now with just 4 games left in the season. This past Saturday, they went on the road to take on the Austin P Governors, where they had a dominant 95-74 win, led behind a 30-point explosion from starting point guard Sydney Tolbert as she led the way for the Wolves into this dominant victory. Now, as we look into the future here, like I said, we have 4 games left, one of them being on Wednesday on the road in Nashville, Tennessee against Lipscomb University. What do you guys expect from our girls, and do y'all think they could really either solidify this 3 seed in the ASUN conference or maybe overtake the team ahead of them and move into the 2 seed?
I see him overtaking them. I mean, after last game, Sydney Tolbert going off for 30 points and Jones going off for 25. 2 career highs for both of them. They're just getting hot right now. The whole team's getting hot. The whole team's feeling themselves. They shot for 60% from the field, which is the first time since in a long time that they did that, and shot 14 threes and shot more than 14 threes, but made 14 threes over that stand of last game. So I think they can definitely overtake the next team.
And just for a little added context here, we're only one game behind the number 2 seed in the conference, Jacksonville University, and we do not play them again this season, but we do have 4 conference games that could allow us to overtake them if they're to slip up here.
Absolutely, and these last 4 games left, these aren't really tough opponents that we have to really lose sleep over. So I mean, going into tournament play with these last 4, if we can establish some momentum and keep that same play that we did over the weekend, last game. I mean, these 4 games, they can easily be tune-up games to get ready for those tournaments, because once those come around, you're going to have tougher opponents. You're not going to be in the same atmosphere. You're going to be under a different roof, playing against different guys and girls. So finishing strong with these last 4 could really help out for them.
Yeah, I mean, we look at this team, especially going down in this 4-game stretch. I would say they're all must-win games. You could ask Mike Vrabel that. He might agree with me, right? These are all must-win games. But you look at this Austin Peay game, and it's exactly what you need and want to see going into this stretch, right? Austin Peay is a good team. They're 14-10. They've had a solid season. And when you have people like Sidney Tolbert shooting 30 points, but shooting 11 of 14 from the field. Destiny Jones got 25, shooting 10 for 12 from the field. And then you have a total of 5 people scoring double digits. That's what you need. Mm-hmm. You need a team effort, and you need the girls to play like this. And if this is how they're going to play, we're going to go 4-0, and we're going to secure that 2 seed.
This is probably the most efficient performance I've ever seen from a West Georgia basketball team in all 4s here. In all 4 of my years here at the university. You mentioned the efficient scoring, and then when you just look at the numbers here, they shot 66% from the field and 61% from three-point range, then also made 75% of their free throws, leading to them leading for 80% of this ball game. It was just an incredibly efficient performance, and these are the kind of games you want to put together when you're on the tail end of your season here. Like I said, we're 1 game behind second place, currently in a 3-way tie for the third seed in the ASUN Conference. These are the kind of games you need to continue to stack. Don't make this an anomaly. Don't make it to where people like us are saying this is the best I've ever seen them play.
Right.
Make it to where that is what y'all do night in and night out. And like you guys were saying a second ago, these are not the most talented teams in the conference that we're playing up against. Yes, they're going to leave it all on the court because their season's almost over, but Lipscomb, Central Arkansas, Queens, and North Alabama both have losing conference. All of those teams have losing conference records. So this is a great way for West Georgia to continue to move forward, win these last 4 games, end off an amazing regular season with a bunch of positive momentum so that we can get into this ASUN Conference tournament and really make a statement. Because we're really just playing for the ASUN Conference Tournament Championship since we're still on probation from the NCAA.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, when you move from D2 to D1, you're on a 3-year probationary period where you cannot participate in postseason play. Now, we can play in the Conference Tournament Championship and win that whole thing, but we will not get the automatic bid to play in the NCAA basketball tournament. The second place team would do it. It's a stupid rule, but it's the game we play.
It is what it is.
So this is a perfect opportunity for West Georgia to build a lot of positive momentum heading into this conference tournament. That way we can go down there and win a trophy in Jacksonville, Florida, and really put the entire conference on notice and let them know that the West Georgia Wolves are for real. Now moving to the other side of the spectrum here, our men's team hasn't been doing as hot. Currently 12-14 overall and 6-8 in conference play, coming off of a 79-62 loss on the road to the Central Arkansas Bears. Now, looking at the bigger picture for the men's team here, we're kind of benefiting from a down year from the conference as a whole because the top 4 teams are pretty stacked here, but then West Georgia is sitting at the 5 seed. 7 games behind first place Austin Peay, probably won't catch up to them, but they're still in a decent spot to get a solid seed in the ASUN Conference Tournament in a 3-way tie at 6-8 with Florida Gulf Coast and Bellarmine University. So looking forward here, we have an opportunity to kind of make things a little better for ourselves. We have 4 more conference games on the road in Eastern Kentucky and at Queens, then 2 home games to close out the season versus Lipscomb, and then next Saturday, February 28th, Senior Day against North Alabama. So Schrader, when looking at our men's team, do you think they have do you think they're going to be able to capitalize off these last 4 games and close the gap in this conference?
Yeah, I do, especially with those last 2 games being in the Coliseum. I think that really helps them. And, this team, This team's honestly, they've been where I expected them to be this year. They're nothing like crazy, but they're not terrible. But I think if they can use these 4 games, win 3 of these 4 going into the conference tournament with some momentum, that's all you need, right? March, we know that March is really a time where the teams that get hot at the right time succeed. And if we can see that, if we can get there, if we can get hot, then I think this team can really set themselves up well to contend in this conference.
Yeah, I agree, honestly, that I think they can do it. As long as they don't play like they did last game. I mean, they put themselves in a 19-point fall at the end of the first half. If anybody does that, it's really hard to come back. And they almost made that comeback last game, but they fell short, obviously, running out of steam. But I definitely think, going off what Schrader said, those last 2 games in the Coliseum, definitely with the home crowd behind them, I think they can do that as long as they pick it up from last time.
Yeah, they could do that, especially dominating on senior night with your guys coming in knowing that that's their last home game there. I mean, they're playing with a lot of things to play for at that point. The last 4 games going into tournament play, you need those kind of build up games to kind of get your momentum going, kind of see where you're at towards the tail end of the season. Because I mean, although you're under 500 overall record wise, your season still may not be over with conference play. So if they could take these last 4 series, like Shredder said, win at least 3 out of the 4, I think they'd be good.
And that's really the beauty of college basketball, because you could be a mediocre team throughout the season, or even just a middle of the pack squad, maybe not as bad as mediocre, just kind of middle of the pack in your conference. Find a way to squeak into that conference tournament and completely change the way people view your season. A lot of teams, West Georgia won't be able to do this because of the suspension, of course. Well, the probationary period, I think is what they call it. But we've seen plenty of teams go in under 500 in the interconference tournament play, either just play great in the conference tournament or outright win the entire thing and completely change the way people view their season. So we have an opportunity to do just that. This team is very talented. Shelton Williams-Dryden is a dog on this team. When Josh Smith is on, he cannot be stopped. Javar Daniel is a beast down low. So, I mean, there are players on this team that have played great throughout the season. They just have to put it together and play well as a collective to finish out strong.
Yeah, and a great example of a team doing that is UConn in 2011 with Kemba Walker.
Yep.
They kind of slid towards the end of the season, picked themselves up in the conference championship or in the conference tournament, won that, and then ended up winning the whole thing.
Now, we're no UConn. But
it would be nice.
It's possible nonetheless. We're not gonna discount.
We
that.
are the West Georgia Wolves.
Yeah, get out of here.
I mean,
Richard.
come on.
Yes, we are, Ryan.
Yes,
yes,
like this
we are. And our West Georgia Wolves baseball team took the diamond for the first time in the year of 2026 this past weekend with an opening 4-game series against the Central Michigan University Chippewas. And boy, it started great. Friday's game at 1:30, our Wolves were on fire. The Bats could not be stopped. Hit 3 home runs in the game. Went on to win 11-3. Then the rest of the series we'll only talk about. Lost game 2 an hour later, 18-6. Lost game 3 Saturday afternoon, 15-6. And then lost game 4, 6-1. I'm not sure what happened after that first game, because I was extremely excited. I was there for the entire time, taking pictures and hanging out in the stands, and the team was playing out of their minds. But those last 3 games Ryan, I want to kick it over to you. What did you notice from this team, and how do you think they can build on this to have a different outcome tomorrow when they go on the road to take on Kennesaw State?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird, because I was at that first game, and we looked unstoppable against the Chippewas. I mean, our pitching was dominant. Our bats, once again, 3 home runs. I mean, they were gone. I mean, they were a long shot to the Coliseum, to the woods.
I caught a T-shirt.
But you dropped it.
I saw you missed the first one.
I
saw you missed the first one.
So I dropped the first one, but I redeemed myself with the second.
Yeah, so, as I say, it's weird. But I think it's not a lost cause. I think if we get our pitching in perspective, our pitching is good, but it's not great. I think they're just young and they're transfers. They play for West Georgia. I mean, they're not going to be these D1 Tennessee guys, but I think they.
Well, we had Lane Pearson last year.
We did have Lane Pearson last
We
year.
had Lane Pearson, who ended up transferring to the SEC. I just saw he retired, but we still had him.
But listen, I think if we get our bats are hot. Our bats are good. I think it's the pitching side that needs work.
Yeah, I think if you have
a pretty big problem to have, by the way. I was going to say that's a pretty big problem to have.
I'm not going to discount that, but I'm going to try to be a glass half full kind of guy. But you score, 11 and then 6 twice? Like, you could very easily have gone 3-1 in this series.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't give up like 33 runs in 2 games, you really don't want to do that. I'm not good at math, but that's not a good statistic to have. So if the pitching can maybe only allow like 6 a game, I think we'll be solid.
Even 6 is, I don't know, a bit too much because, I don't know. You're going to need better pitching, though, because you put up 6 points on offense and you still find a way to lose. I don't know. It's not very good.
You know, for more information on our West Georgia Wolves baseball team, you can check out our YouTube channel, Wolf Sports Network, where our all-new YouTube exclusive show, Wolves on Deck, is available and will be available every single Friday. And we're going to sit down with, guess who? Our West Georgia Wolves pitching coach this week to talk about a few of the issues with this team and how to fix it before this weekend series on the road in Little Rock, Arkansas, taking on Little Rock University. And just a little preview here. Does not get much easier. Next Wednesday, you go on the road to Auburn, Alabama to take on, guess who? The Auburn Tigers. Then go to the University of South Alabama. Then that next week, go on the road to Wichita, Kansas to take on Wichita State University. And then just to add insult to injury, go on the road to Atlanta to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
They don't play at Cole Field till spring break.
Dude, this schedule is freaking brutal. And you know what? They're going to go out there and have a good time, though. That's all that matters. Our softball team is also in action right now, currently sitting at 3-7 overall, after also going 1-3 on the weekend in the Wings Etc. Classic. That is indeed what it's called, the Wings Etc. Classic. They were on the road in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where they beat Youngstown State 9-1 at 11 a.m. on Friday, and then went on to lose to USC Upstate 6-5, Youngstown State 9-7, and USC Upstate again 4-2. Our women's softball team will be in action again this Wednesday in Birmingham, Alabama, taking on the UAB Blazers. And I think that's the whole run through. It's kind of a gloomy way to end it.
Dude, everybody is playing right now, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's really busy right here in the City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia. And if you want to stay up to date with it, continue to rock out with us right here on Wolf Sports Network, Sports Pack, every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7. Kind of sound like I was signing off here. We got a long way to go. But we're also to be doing live play-by-play and color commentary coverage for all your West Georgia Wolves sporting events. Be sure to follow us on Wolf Sports Network to stay up to date with when we're doing it. Now, like I said, I'm not signing off just yet. Do not turn us off yet. We're here till 7. We're going to take a quick ad break, But when we return, we're going to dive into the Winter Olympics and talk about the NBA All-Star Game. Stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
We're favored to make the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says.
Man. All this sports talk is making me kind of hungry. I really could go for an all-star special right now.
Oh yeah, did somebody say All-Star Special? Well, lucky for you, Wolf Sports Network is hosting a Spirit Night at the Maple Street Waffle House on February 24th from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a chance for you to come out and support our station and maybe even grab yourself the All-Star Special that I know you're craving. And remember, the Wolves play here.
WSN, Wolf Sports Network, will have you covered this West Georgia basketball season with Inside the Coliseum, our 30-minute pregame show that will start 1 hour before select home games.
But we saw his ability to make those tough shots. He is a shooter, and he was second in scoring behind Shelton Williams-Dryden.
I think we just need to get everybody the ball as much as possible. I think we need to throw the rock around.
Join us as we cover both the men's and women's basketball seasons from Inside the Coliseum.
Wait a minute. Is this what I think it is? Wii Sports? Let's try something. Let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all of college football, basketball, and baseball. Mondays from 9 to 10 p.m. The Playbook on Wolf Sports Network.
When you think about college sports, what do you think of?
Campus legends like Haynes King and Diego Pavia.
What if I told you there was a show for that and more?
More?
Playbook is your one-stop listen for college football, basketball, baseball, and UWG sports.
The Bulldogs have Ryan Nemhard, a great point guard, and they are going yard. Gonzaga in 5.
Tune into the Playbook Mondays from 9 to 10 p.m. only on Wolf Sports Network.
Save your gas and ride the shuttles. Hop on the dining shuttle at East Commons to West Commons from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on weekends. The community shuttle at the UCC is there for you Thursday and Friday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to get to Kroger, Walmart, or Adamson Square. Safe Ride Shuttle is your ride home. Thursday through Saturday, 10:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. using the red route to Square. Westwoods has a new resident pool and is now accepting all applicants. More information located at livewestwoods.com.
And just a reminder, if you do just so happen to go out and take the safety shuttle out to the square at night, be sure to drink responsibly. And remember that college students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 times more likely to perform poorly on a test or a project because of drinking. That is why Dream City Brewing Company and Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio are proudly here to remind you to drink responsibly. Only students 21 and over should drink responsibly in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty will not take hangovers as excuses. Now, we talked a lot about baseball and softball in our previous West Georgia segment, as our teams have just gotten back out there on the diamond and are taking on a bunch of different opponents right now. But we're getting closer and closer and closer to the Major League Baseball season. But all I'm hearing about right now, Ryan, is the WBC, that being the World Baseball Classic. And before the show, you were telling me about some interesting headlines surrounding the event. So go ahead and walk us through it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a big one that just came today or yesterday, some recent news. Roman Anthony is taking place of outfielder Corbin Carroll for an injury reserve insurance purposes, just extravaganza there. So a big hit to Team USA. I mean, Roman Anthony had 8 home runs, batted around like 280 last year, but only came in about halfway up the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to add him to the roster and possibly be a starter. But I want to get y'all's take on that. What's your thoughts on Roman Anthony becoming United States?
Obviously, he wasn't probably in my top 10 choices. I think if there's a guy whose nickname is Captain America who's not on the roster, like Mike Trout is not on this WBC roster, and he 100% should be. Yet again, it comes down to that insurance problem. But when a guy like Corbin Carroll goes down with injury, right? He broke his orbital bone in his hand. He's out, whatever. You need to go get Mike Trout. I mean, Jake from State Farm's got to have something to say. He's got to be able to help this man just play baseball for his country. But Roman Anthony is one of the best prospects in baseball. He's one of the best rookies. I think it's a good guy to bring onto the roster because he's going to be on Team USA for years, maybe even decades to come. So it's great to kind of have him there already. But man, you should have given Mike Trout another chance.
For sure.
So these insurance things we're talking about here, these like clauses that are in certain players' contracts that prevent them from participating in activities that aren't involved with whatever team they're signed with?
Yeah,
is that what this is about?
It's a thing with the MLB, basically.
Because they're not playing for their team. So it's like, it's weird. It gets like the teams don't want these guys to get hurt and then have to pay them even though they got hurt not playing for their team. It's kind of weird.
Which makes sense.
I get it. Yeah.
It makes sense that would be a team-specific thing because, like you said, you don't want your player participating in potentially dangerous and detrimental activities that could end up hurting their team long-term when in reality he wasn't doing it on their team. So I can understand that.
Yeah, and it's just like last year, I believe it was Edwin Diaz went out in the first round with I forget what it was, but he was out the whole season. So definitely a big reason why insurance is definitely gone up with these players, not wanting them to get hurt because there's some big names with Team USA.
Based off what I'm reading, the rules are a lot stricter with players that are 37 and older as well.
Right,
that makes a lot of
which
sense.
is where Mike Trout kind of comes into the picture, just because he's
Trout's
older.
over 37.
He's old. I don't know if he's over 37, but he ain't that young. I mean, he's been in the league since
long time,
2010, 2011 ish. So he very well could be 37.
Yeah, another topic. The WBC has limited the pitch count to 65 in the first round for all pitchers that are pitching in the World Baseball Classic, which I think is very interesting. But going back to that injury reserve, I think this might be a reason because they don't want these guys getting injured in the first round. But it just doesn't make sense because in the later rounds, there's not a max. So why in the first round but not in the other ones?
I think it comes down to one, this is a lot of these guys' spring training. A lot of guys are kind of not taking spring training and they're playing in the WBC. So one, You obviously don't want them to get hurt. Nobody wants them to get hurt. So in the first round, especially when it's like the group play, it's not win or go home. I think it makes sense, and I think it's smart. It's not like the rosters can't take the hit, right? You look at the U.S.'s rotation. It's unreal. You look at the bullpen. It's arguably even better. So I think it's smart, and it gives a lot of guys a chance to pitch. So I really don't have a problem with it, and I like that it's not there in the later rounds when it's win or go home, because then it's like that playoff atmosphere. You got guys that want to pitch complete game shutouts, let them do it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like you said, it's still spring training time, so it works as a good opportunity for players to get tuned up, because you don't want them just jumping right into it and potentially overexerting themselves, which could lead to injury that would make a lot of MLB teams unhappy and would lead to them maybe putting out stricter rules to prevent their players from participating in this event because of injury risk. So I completely understand the limited pitch count for the early rounds of the tournament. Now, pivoting into kind of sports on the other side of the spectrum here, we have the Winter Olympics still rolling on, and our women's hockey team has still been on fire. They just beat Sweden 5-0 in the semifinals to advance to a gold medal game where they have a date with no other than Canada, Schrader.
Dude, okay, you want to hear something crazy? You know, the last time we talked about these girls, what was it? A week ago? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nobody has scored on them since, and they've completed 5 consecutive shutouts, and one of those was against this Canada team that they play on Thursday. So this is awesome, right? This women's team has played the best hockey I've ever seen. You're outscoring your opponents 31-1 in the Olympics. This is best on best hockey. You're killing everybody you're playing. You set yourself up to win gold to help the country. I mean, this is awesome. This women's team is playing out of their minds. If you have not watched them, watch the gold medal match while you're at work, because I know you don't want to be productive on a Thursday.
Hey, I'll be sitting around watching it. I'll probably be in one of my classes posted up with my Peacock logged in on my laptop watching the game. Now, like you said, that gold medal game will be on Thursday. It's going to be extremely exciting. Mm-hmm. U.S. versus Canada is always incredible. We saw that a few months ago, really, in the Four Nations tournament. It's going to be an incredible atmosphere once again. But I also want to talk about another women's team here. The women's monobob team with Americans Callie and Brewster Humphreys and friend of the Sports Pack, Alana Myers-Taylor, both earning gold medals.
There we go.
It is an incredible feat for the 41-year-old Myers-Taylor as she won gold in the monobob competition. Like I said, she's a friend of the show. She came on for an interview. I think it was my freshman year. She was extremely cool, kind, and excited to compete in these high-level events. So it is amazing to see her take home gold for our country. It's been an incredible Winter Olympics so far. Mm-hmm. Be sure to continue to tune in and support, because it is getting better and better by the day. And we're going to talk about something getting better and better.
Dude.
The NBA All-Star Game yesterday was, I hate to use this word lightly, but it was incredible.
Yeah, it was solid. I was able to catch a little bit of it, and I was very surprised, because we were kind of making fun of the format. One, because there was a whole new format, like just play a game of basketball. But I mean, it was great. It was entertaining, and the guys looked engaged. You know, we don't have to talk about the dunk contest, because we're just going to act like that didn't happen.
We'll talk about
the 3-point contest was okay, but that All-Star game was outstanding.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And it was something that they've been missing for years now. They've been trying different tactics and metrics to try to, get everybody kind of back involved into that, how it was earlier in the 2000s, So, I think that they finally found a format that works for them, kind of breaking it down into 4 different games. I think that kind of works well, and kind of, branching it between the USA and the world as well. I think that kind of juiced it up as well, because with these new guys coming in, they're coming in all over the world. So, pushing them, having, separating them from, by teams is kind of get everybody around the world involved, kind of bring more eyes to the sport. Because if you just go with what you usually go with the pick captains, you draft something, it's kind of boring, right? So I think that this new format that they equipped, I like it.
Listen, I don't think anybody had high hopes for this NBA All-Star game.
I
didn't even realize it was happening until about Friday or Thursday when we had the show, when we were talking about it. But I was genuinely surprised. These players actually cared and were emotionally attached to what they were doing. Like, you saw Wembanyama actually, like, emotional after they lost the game. So
that's what we need, though.
That's what we need in the
passion.
NBA All-Star game. You said we were missing it for years. This is something we need. I like the new format.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it really just seems like we needed the right players leading the charge.
Yes.
Victor Wembanyama, they talked about it multiple times on the broadcast, was in the Team World practices throughout this weekend, stressing that they need to go out and represent themselves, their teams, and their countries, and he led by example. He scored 14 points, had 6 rebounds and 3 blocks in the first game. In the second game, he went on to score 19 points with 2 rebounds. I mean, he led by example. And when these players saw one guy going hard in the paint and really getting after it, everybody's competitive fire kind of kicked in, except for Jamal Murray. But everybody other than Jamal Murray's competitive fire really kicked in, and they found a way to play hard. They really went for it. Anthony Edwards ended up winning MVP of the entire event, but Kawhi Leonard played out of his mind in the third game, scoring 31 of Team Stripe's 48 points. He could not miss. He was 11 for 13 and 6 for 7, no pun intended, from three-point range. He played out of his mind. And it just led to what ended up being an extremely exciting All-Star weekend. Well, not All-Star weekend. An extremely exciting All-Star game. The weekend itself. The weekend itself was a little lackluster. Three-point contest was all right. Dunk contest.
Pretty sure I watched a guy die.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. He hit the side of he Paul George the backboard.
The dunk, bro.
It was bad. It was bad. But the game kind of made up for it. But my biggest takeaway from the game, obviously the fact that the players played hard, but it was really the last game. Team Stars versus Team Stripes. Team Stars was composed of a lot of the younger players in the NBA, led by Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey. Devin Booker found his way onto that team, even though he's not a young star in the league, but he was there as well. And they were going up against Team Stripes with guys like Kevin Durant, LeBron James.
The OGs.
I mean, yeah, the OGs of the NBA. And the OGs looked gassed in the last game. Team Stars beat them 47-21. And when I was sitting there watching that, I was just like, wow. It's almost like the changing of the guard in the NBA. Obviously, Kevin Durant isn't done yet. We're not sure what LeBron's going to do here. Kawhi went off in that last game, but then only scored 1 point in this one. It just kind of seems like we're getting to the end of the era where those guys ran the NBA. And we're starting to get to the point where Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Tyrese Maxey are going to be the faces of the NBA moving forward.
Yeah, these young boys, they're coming in hot, and they're coming to take the throne from these old guys. They're coming in, they're playing at their own pace. They're playing with their own style as well. So, they're coming in with the mentality that you can't tell us anything, right? We're gonna handle the business with the OGs. We're gonna move them out the way. Hey, we're here now. This is us. So I think as much as it was, all fun, it was kind of a statement game as well. That's kind of how I took it because they handed it to them. So
they killed him.
Absolutely.
Tyrese Maxey was running circles around him. Nobody could even stay in front of him. They just looked gassed. They looked old. Look, they looked old.
Don't say that.
They look old.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep it short. It was old school versus new school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Old school. This is what I grew up watching, bro. I'm not that old.
You're old too. You're old too.
No.
We're both about to graduate. It's over.
I still got another year.
Life is over, Shader. It's a wrap. It's over. Yeah, it's just wild to see. And just staying on the topic of the Olympics with it, because since it's his Team Stars and Team Stripes, when you're looking at it, you got to kind of think, by the time we get to LA in 2028, who's going to be representing Team USA? It's not going to be LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Just put Curry in the corner, though.
Let Curry can sit corner. But it's not going to be LeBron James and Kevin Durant. It's going to be guys like Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham. When you're looking for a big-time center in the NBA right now, all of them are foreigners with Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, Alperen Sengun from the Rockets. We're going to have to find some guys. And I think Jalen Duren and Chet Holmgren could end up being those guys on Team USA.
Don't forget about Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, no, I was talking about centers. But, yeah, Donovan Mitchell was on. Donovan
guys from Cleveland.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell was also going to be representative. I think he was on – which team did they have him on? They had him on the Stripes team, but Donovan Mitchell's not that old, is he?
Yeah, he's not that
old. How old is Donovan Mitchell, Mr. Cleveland?
He's younger. He's got time.
He's 29.
He's 29. He's not old. Yeah, he's old.
He's got time to take Cleveland to a championship.
He belonged on that OGs team, but it was just I just wanted to put that out there as food for thought. We're starting to get past the era of Kevin Durant and LeBron James and walk into this new era where teams like the Pistons, led by Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, are one of the best teams in the NBA. Now, we're going to take a quick ad break, but before we do, I want to remind you that Wolf Sports Network has a merch store. Go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, click about, and click merch store to support us in any way possible. We got everything you need: beanies, trucker hats. I think we got some socks on there. Wolf Sports Network hoodies, polos, t-shirts, whatever it is you want, we'll find a way to get it on there. If you want Wolf Sports Network draws, be sure to follow us on Instagram and DM us and be like, hey man, I want my wife to be able to see Wolf Sports Network on my booty when I walk out the shower. Whatever you need to do to show us support, we will find a way to make it happen for you. Just follow us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network, put in your request, let us know your reasoning, and you know, if it's understandable, if it's a little relatable even, we'll make it happen for you. Now, don't hit that dial. We're going to take a quick ad break, but when we return, we're going to dive into some college basketball.
The Playbook is your home for West Georgia sports this spring. From University Stadium,
And we saw a very well put together offense that was trailing and going into the half, and then comes out in the third quarter and puts themselves up.
To the Coliseum.
We're finishing well at the rim, being aggressive, being physical. A lot of guys are touching the rock. It's been a great start for the Wolves.
And Cole Field.
I hope West Georgia wins. I'm going to be rooting for West Georgia tomorrow.
The Playbook, live every Monday from 9 to 10 p.m.
Tune in to Wolf Sports Network throughout the week to hear the very best in UWG sports coverage. Catch live shows, score updates, and breaking news all week long. But sometimes seeing really is believing. And now you can watch your favorite Wolf Sports Network shows live on YouTube. Follow at Wolf Sports Network on YouTube as we bring you into the studio with your favorite shows and personalities. Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
What's up? This is Parker Andell, and I'm the newest voice of Sports Out of Pocket. Step into Lucky Season 7, where the odds are in our favor. Crazy insights, hidden stories, and conversations that will pay off every single time. With a fresh season and a fresh voice, Lucky Sevens is here. Tune into Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's a new semester here at West Georgia, and that means a brand new season of Sports Out of Pocket.
I love Jameis Winston to death, but look at the guy. Like, come on, that's not the veteran quarterback that I want to be.
He's a locker room guy.
They got Jonathan Taylor back there. It's like having Saquon, just a little bit worse, but it's like having Saquon.
Tune into Season 7 of Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network. Get ready to hit the jackpot. Sports Out of Pocket is back for Season 7. The Lucky Seven's final season with me, Jackson Voles. From wild debates to the boldest takes in the game, Jackson is going all in for his final run. 7 seasons, 1 final spin. Don't miss it. Catch Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Scattered, smothered, and covered by Wolf Radio at our Spirit Night on February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. at the Maple Street Waffle House. In-person or to-go orders will help support our shows, podcasts, and digital contents. So be an all-star and order an all-star at the Maple Street Waffle House on February 24th from 2 to 9 p.m. That is 2 to 9 p.m. on February 24th at the Maple Street Waffle House. Now, it was a pretty wild weekend in college basketball because we saw one of the top teams in the country, the Arizona Wildcats, fall for the second time in a row. But before we jump into it, welcome in my dog Noah Prout to his first ever Wolf Sports Network show. How you feeling today?
Feeling good. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Your voice was kind of booming through the headset. I really wasn't expecting that. But you know what? That just means you're meant for it. You're built for radio.
Absolutely.
And you're meant to be right here with us on Sports Pack. Now, I want to jump right into this here. Like I said, the Arizona Wildcats, coming off of a very tough loss earlier last week against the Kansas Jayhawks, went back home kind of licking their wounds to welcome the then 16th ranked team in the country, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. But like we talked about on Thursday Sports Pack, Texas Tech isn't just the kind of team you can rebound against. They are a real deal complete team, and they took it to Arizona, beating them 78-75 in overtime at home after a 31-point explosion from J.T. Toppin and 19 points from Christian Anderson. Keyshawn, I want to start with you here. What was your biggest takeaway from Texas Tech's performance against Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was just, J.T. Toppin dominating. He dominated, scoring and in the paint as well, with topping off with 13 rebounds. He played dominant on both sides of the ball, right? Defense and offensively. He came in, grabbed a ton of offensive rebounds, which allowed for a lot of second chance points and a lot of kickouts, which that retains their possession. And on defensively, when you grab those defensive rebounds, you could throw them up. That creates fast break points as well. So J.T. Toppin being a dominant force in the paint really allowed them to kind of strengthen themselves throughout the whole game, and it was a pretty consistent game throughout the way, with both teams having 32 points and 34 points, which led into overtime. So it was a pretty dominant game by both teams. J.T. Toppin was really the star of the game. He really made Texas Tech have a chance with this one. So, J.T. Toppin, he was the MVP of that game.
Yeah, you're right. J.T. Toppin was incredible. Had 6 defensive rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 13 total to go along with his 31 points. And then C.J. Anderson, along with his 19 points, had 8 assists on top of that. And that dominant performance has led to some shifting in the AP polls, as Arizona has dropped from the number 1 team in the country. They were a perfect 23-0. They're now 23-2 and the number 4 ranked team in the country. And the 24-1 Michigan Wolverines have taken their spot as the number 1 team in the country. So Noah, when we're looking at the top 5-ish teams in these rankings, who do you truly feel is the best team in the country? Or do you think the guys got it right putting Michigan up there?
I think Michigan at number 1 is definitely the correct choice because, when you look at the size they have, the balance all around the court, they definitely look far and away one of the best teams in college basketball. Now, yes, I understand their schedule is looking a little lackluster, but they got a lot of really good teams down the line that they have to play later on. But that veteran presence is really going to matter, too, when it comes to March.
Michigan is extremely talented. Like you said, they're a veteran-led team. They've won a lot of really close games. But when you look at the rest of the top 5 here, you got some dominant forces. You got the Houston Cougars, who have been kind of the unsung heroes of the Big 12 so far. People haven't really been talking about them as much because how dominant Arizona's been, but they're 23-2 as well, coming off a big win on the road versus Kansas State that they won 78-64. They've been dominant too, Ryan. Are you discounting the Houston Cougars? Or do you think it's another team out there that's better than both Michigan and Houston?
Yeah, I'm not discounting either team, but I just don't think Michigan at number 1 was the right choice. And this is because I just don't see their schedule as a number 1 team schedule. They played a couple guys here and there, yeah. But the team that I really see as the number 1 right now, and I think is going to have a really good chance of winning all, is UConn. I think their schedule leads up to it with their players, and they beat Illinois, they beat Kansas, they beat Florida. They did drop one to Arizona, but Arizona's Arizona. But I think their schedule really shows that they're a team that can compete against these high stakes teams, and I just don't think Michigan has that. Houston, okay, but I just put it with UConn.
I'm with that. UConn's a very talented team. We know they're very well coached. Dan Hurley won 2 national titles in a row just 2 years ago. A lot of people are kind of forgetting about it and kind of maybe pushing UConn to the side. You're like, yeah, they already had their moment. They won 2 in a row. There's no way they could win a third, but it's very possible. They have an extremely talented team led by junior forward Solo Ball. He is a dog. And like you said, one of their only 2 losses this season came on the road. Well, it was a home game versus Arizona, but they only lost that game by 4 points. It was one of their first games of the year. This is an extremely talented team. Then their second loss came to a very talented Rick Pitino-led St. John's team that's also been surging in the Big East, and that was still only a 9-point loss. UConn is a very, very talented team. But to jump back over into the Big 12 here, there's a massive matchup tonight as the second-ranked Houston Cougars are going on the road to Ames, Iowa, to take on the sixth-ranked Iowa State Cyclones, who are just sitting at 22-3. Another extremely talented team in a stacked, loaded Big 12 conference. Noah, I want to kick it to you first. Who do you like in this game and why?
Man, I absolutely love this matchup. You got an unstoppable force against an immovable object. Houston has really elite defense. They're going to have their hands full tonight. They got a great post scorer with Joshua Jefferson and Milan. I hope I'm pronouncing his name. I'm just going to say Milan. He's a great 3-point threat. He's Iowa State's leading scorer. Houston's elite defense, they're going to have their hands full that night. And honestly, with the way college basketball is looking right now, a lot of high-scoring games, offense is looking more prominent than defenses right now. So I'm going to take Iowa State in this one.
Yeah, I want to agree with you. But I just think Houston's been on such a roll. I think they really are going to take this one. I think, as you said, with defense and offense, I just think Houston is the way to go with this pick.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I'm leaning towards Houston with this one because, like you said, their defense will have their hands filled tonight, but Houston ranked among, if not the top or the number one defense in all of college basketball. Mm-hmm. And then you pair that along with how smooth their offensive run under Kingston Flemings. So if you could gel those two together with Iowa State, they coming off a shocking loss to TCU, so they kind of still have some tuning up to do with them. But with Houston, they're looking good. They're looking confident. They're playing with a lot of momentum. They haven't really caught any surprise losses as of recently. And, they've showed up against the top-ranked teams. They beat, teams like BYU. They've beat, UCF, all of these other teams. And, you coming in, you got an Iowa State team, so you know what you're playing up against. You know the talent that you're going up against. So I don't think it's going to be an easy matchup for Iowa State. So I'm going to definitely lean towards Houston with this one.
Noah, this is a really tough game for me as well. I really can't wait to watch it because it's going to be a rock fight. Two teams that really hang their hats on their defense. Houston does it year in and year out. Part of the reason why they made it to the national championship game last season is because of their great defense. Veteran-led squad, very hard-nosed. They just get after you. But Iowa State does the exact same thing. Put immense pressure on every single opponent they go up against and backing it up with extremely efficient three-point shooting. But the one thing Iowa State also does extremely well is offensive rebounding because they live and die on that three-point shot, yes, but they're a really good offensive rebounding team, and that leads to a lot of second-chance shots. But the way Houston plays basketball is extremely hard to get second-chance shots against them. It's hard to get that first initial shot off because of how much they pressure you defensively, but it's extremely difficult to get a second-chance shot, nearly impossible for some teams. So it's going to be an incredibly exciting game to watch, but when I look at the matchups here, great defense against great defense, I look for those scores that can really make a huge difference. And when I look at Houston's team, I look at Emmanuel Sharp, who was one of the best scorers in the country last year, a three-point marksman. I look at Milos Uzan, who was a potential draft prospect last year but decided to take his name out of the NBA draft ranks to return to college. Hasn't had as impactful as a year, but it's because Houston's offense is so much better all around. He's still a threat. Kingston Flemings has been incredible, a mid-range assassin for the Houston Cougars as a true freshman. I watched him drop 40-something points off pretty much all mid-range jumpers. It's incredible to watch. And then Chris Sinak on top of that. Houston has so many different ways to attack you. I think it's going to end up being too much for Iowa State. It's going to be a game that's close throughout, but I feel like towards the end of the second half, we're going to see Houston start to lean on Iowa just a little bit, build a decent lead, and win this game. I'm going to go 72-64 in favor of the Cougars. Now, that's all the time we have for Sports Pack tonight, but be sure to tap in with us on Wolf Sports Network on Instagram because we have a big-time announcement coming for you before Thursday's Sports Pack episode. Do not miss out on it because we're giving you the opportunity to have your voice heard live on the show. So like I said, follow us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network for all updates. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at Wolf Sports Network and have a blessed night. We'll see you Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.